Today, we are going to take it from the part 1 of CoreData, the previous video. Make sure to check that out if you haven't already done so. The link is in the description and it will be popped up at the end of this video. Now, we are going to learn everything you need to know about CoreData, well, basically 95% in SwiftUI. But before we jump into that, let me remind you that you have still more free days till you can get your chance to get 50% off of my summer sale. Now, I have 12 products. You get half the price for all of those 10 products. Go ahead and check it out. It's at store.rebeloper.com/summer-sale, or you just want to maybe just buy one of my products. The coupon code summer sale, it's just one word, summer sale, will be available till that point, so 3 more days, and that is a 30% off discount for all of my products when you are purchasing it individually. Okay, so when we left off, we have made project with categories. We added categories, we created our persistence, our data models and all of that. And then after we added categories, we had them inside the list and we deleted some categories. So let me just show you where the project is at. Now we can add, I don't know, let's just add in here 4. Let's just save that. There we go, 4. And if we tap on delete, it will delete it. So basically, that's where we left off. Now we want to create our additions for our items. So for that, as you can see here, we have an add category view. We are going to have a category view when we are going to tap on any of those categories, and inside that category view we will have a list of items and of course the option to add items. So let's start off with the add items first. So let's create a new file, and this will be a SwiftUI view. Let's create next add item view. Okay, let's create that. And right over here, well, first of all, we want to grab access to our view context because we are going to add some new items. So that's at an environment. So at environment, we are going to select that and / dot, and that is managed object context, private var and view context, there we go. And we're also going to have another environment. It's not distributed there. I do have a key code snippet here, so dismiss. It's an environment dismiss because after we save our new item, we are also going to dismiss this view. Okay, and finally, we want to store our value from our text field because it will be a text field with a button. So we want to store our input somewhere that's a private state variable. Let's name this value, and it's of empty string. Now, also, we want to know in which category we are saving this. And for that, we want to add in our category to this view, and that's how we just import it. We're just going to use it to tie this added item to our category. And I'm just going to delete the preview provider because we don't need it. Okay. So what do we need here? Well, I'm just going to create a VStack, and then, well, everything will be just pumped up all the way to the top. So here is our spacer, and then let's have our text field first, and let's just use the one with the title and text. Item is for our placeholder, and $value will be the binded one. Also, I always like to have our text field style of rounded border so we can see it better. While we are at it about seeing these better, let's just have a padding right over here so we see the text field styles rounded border. Okay, next up we want to add a button. So we are going to select the action and label. For the text, let's just choose save. There we go. And for the buttons action, I'm going to create a function. And there we go, right over here. And yeah, just put that function into the action. Now for the save item, let's just create our item first. So let item equals item, and you want to select the one with the context again, and that is our view context. That's why we needed that inside an environment. And then we are going to grab the item's value and set it to the value from our state variable. And also, this is really important, we are going to add to the categories, we are going to add this item to the categories and the category that we provided earlier. After that, we are going to have a do catch statement, because yeah, we do want to catch the errors. Currently, I'm just going to print out the errors localized description. Feel free to add in some alerts here for yourself. So how do we save that? It's easy, as we did with the categories, persistence controller dot shared dot and save. And after that, we are just simply going to dismiss. Okay, so with this save, go ahead and check out either the persistence file or check out the previous video. It will be linked in the description, or also you can take a look at the end of this video. Okay, so now that we have our adding categories, we need to present this from somewhere. So what I'm going to do is just create another file. It will be a SwiftUI view and a categories view. So a category view, category view, there we go. Again, a SwiftUI view. And here it will be a little bit more trickier. We are going to list all the items. Let's just start off with the properties. First of all, we need to know the category, of course. And we are going to provide this with a state variable, but we are not going to have it as private because we are going to catch it from our list of categories. So state var and the category of type category. Okay, so that's our how we know that, okay, this is the category that we want to present. After that, we want to fetch, and by the way, I'm going to again remove the preview. After that, we are going to fetch all the items, but because we are providing the category right over here, we cannot actually construct a fetch request right over here. So what we are going to do, and this is really clever, we are going to construct the fetch request on the navigation link. So be patient with that. I'm just going to type out the holder, so what will require fetch request. So at fetch request var items, and this will be fetch results and of type item. Okay. And finally, we want to also present that add item view. So let's create a private state variable is add item view presented, and let's set this to false. Okay. So those are kind of the properties. Now we actually need to construct our body. And of course, this will be a simple list, and that will have for each view with all the items. So items, it will have an item in, and basically I'm just going to have a text with the item's value. So item dot value, this is optional, so we want to provide a default value as an empty string. Okay, so also we are going to have a navigation title with the dot navigation title, and that's maybe, well, let's just use our categories value, category dot value, and again an empty string if there is no value for that category. Let's add our plus button. It will be again a toolbar as we had previously on the other views. So it's a toolbar. We're going to have a toolbar item with a placement, and that is primary primary action. On the content, let's have a button, action and label. For the label, let's have a simple image of system named plus. Okay, and for the button, we are just going to toggle this state variable. So toggle that is add item view presented toggle. Of course, we do need to have a sheet on that. So dot sheet is presented. I don't care about the on dismiss. So let's bind that is add item view presented. The content will be add category view. Okay. So add category item. Let's see, add item view, sorry, add item view with a category. Okay, so we want to add an item there. Great. So now that we have all of this, like adding, also we want to have an option to delete these items. So for that, we are going to use the on delete. So on delete perform, and right over here I'm just going to type it out because the function doesn't exist. I do know how to do this. So delete offset, we are going to create this function right over here after the body. So func delete, and we are going to have offsets of index set, and I believe I need to have offsets right over there. Okay, so what are we going to do when we are deleting? Well, we want to have this with an animation. So with animation, we are going to groove that in, and for all of the offsets, so offsets dot for each, there we go, we are going to have an offset. We want to grab the item, so let item equal items, and for the offset, okay, and then we want to delete. So again, a do catch statement. There we go, do catch, print out the optional error if there will be any errors, description, localized description, and we try to delete. So try persistence controller dot shared dot delete that object, and that is the item. Okay, so once we have all of this in place, we want to, let's just see here what I have in my notes. Yes, create the navigation link to this category. Okay, so let's see, under the content view, here currently we have our text of our category. Now we want to replace this. I'm just going to leave it in because the label will be there. So with a navigation link with a title, or rather that with the value and label. So, or let's see, what do I have right over here? Navigation link, destination and label. Yes. So we want to show where we are going. For the label, let's just copy that out and paste that in. So we're not going to use values. It's much more easier to just provide a destination right over here. So the destination basically will be our category view, there we go. And that category view will require a category and items. Now for the category, that's really easy to do, category, but for the items, we need a fetch request. And we need to construct that fetch request, and we are going to do it right over here. So let items fetch request equals, it will be a fetch request. And I'm just going to select the one with the, let's see, sort descriptors. Yeah, sort descriptors and predicate, because that is, the predicate is where we are going to set the category delimiter for our item fetch. So let's select this one, sort descriptors it's an array NS sort descriptor with a key path, and I'm just going to go the items item dot value and ascending, that will be true. That's fine. Now for the animation, that's default dot default. There we go. And the NS predicate. So let's create our NS predicate. I know it will be a little bit chunky, but here we go. So it will have a format, and here it is going to be like this. This is a string type. Please do go ahead and take a look at how you want to create these predicates. But the main point of this predicate is that we want to fetch all the items that are in this category. So here is how it looks like. I'm just going to type it out, and you will see contains cd. Okay, and then here we go. And then for the key path, oh, I missed the hash. Key path item dot categories, and we provide our category. Okay, so yeah, please do go ahead and take a look at how you want to create these NS predicates. And finally, we want to add in our items fetch request for the items. This was a really long one. Let's see, fetch request. What did I do wrong right over here? There is some issue. Let's see. Cannot convert value. Okay, let me just see if I set. Okay, so we need to provide that this needs to give us back some items. Okay, let's see if that error went away. I believe it did. Okay, great. So now we want to test this out, finally. And after we test it out, stay tuned, because we are going to implement a search for the categories. So now you can see that under one, we have this navigation link. So let's just have this first, save that, and then second item, let's save that too. Let's just go back, go into free, nothing's there. Under one, here they are. And then if I just slide, it will be removed, deleted. Okay, that seems to work, and it should work. So now it's time to add in our search into our categories. Now we are going to search according to their values. So first of all, we want to add in a search query. So under the category view, let's just go all the way up, and let's add a private state variable, and name this search query. But it's an empty string by default. Now it's time to create our search predicate. So according to this search query, we are going to modify, oh, it's not the category view. This should be actually inside our content view, because here are our categories. Okay, so we are going to modify these categories predicates. We don't have anything right over here where we're fetching all the categories, but we are going to modify them. And for that, we are going to create search predicate according to this query. So private func search predicate for that query. There we go. It's a string. And this will return us an NS predicate. And it might be optional. Maybe we don't have anything to this query. Okay, so first of all, if the query is empty, so there's an empty string, we should return nil. So if query is empty, let's just return nil. Okay. If we do have a query, we want to return an NS predicate, and the format, well, the format is kind of the same, so I'm just going to copy it out. Let's see, where was that? Category view. Oh, where is my search query? I lost it. Add category view, no. Content view. There we go. So, and as predicate, and let me just move this right over here. So we want to actually grab the categories value, and that will be our query. And yeah, it should contain the category. Yeah, that's fine. It should contain. So it not should be equal. It should contain. So now we are ready to create our searchable. So we are going to add our searchable right over here. I believe it should be on the list. Dot searchable. There we go. And the text will be actually our search query. So search query. And now that we have our search query, we want to listen to that. So dot on change of our search query, we are getting back here this new value. And what we want to do is grab our categories NS predicate and set it to our search predicate from that query. That's the new value. It is a really cool trick right over there. That's how you want to do it. But has succeeded. There we go. We have our search bar right over here. And maybe let's just search for 1, maybe for 3. There we go. Let's cancel that out. Let's just add also 2. Let's save that. And then if I type in T, there we go. If I type in O, it's really nice. Now, that is basically 90% what you need to know about CoreData in SwiftUI. Go ahead and check out the previous video where we talked about the setting up this CoreData model and the category views and the persistence. So I will see you in there. It's all the way up here.